For reaction now to this story, we're happy to welcome in Congressman Rob Wittman, a Republican from Virginia, also the vice-ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thanks for coming on today. Wow, we've got national coverage of what's happening in your home state of Virginia here. And in fact, new polling from the Trafalgar Group finds Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin leading Democratic candidate Terry McAuliffe by 2 points, as you see on your screen. But as we wait and see who might win, what are your takeaways from how this race has played out so far?
Well, Emma, I think Glenn has done a fantastic job in connecting on the issues that are important to Virginians. The Commonwealth has always been a state that's focused on vision and getting things done. Glenn has the vision about how do you empower parents. Education is incredibly important, and parents want to make sure that their school systems are involving parents in how decisions are made. Also, they want to make sure that school systems are teaching their children how to think, not what to think. I think, too, that people are worried about the economy as they see inflation, as they see the challenges out there. Glenn, being a businessman, has been able to capture that angst in a plan that would clearly put Virginia's economy back on track. And also, public safety. He's been out there talking about how incredibly important law enforcement is to the safety of our communities, and making sure, too, that he emphasizes supporting our law enforcement community, but also making sure that he is working with law enforcement and our communities to chart the path forward. So Glenn has had a very, very bright vision for Virginia, and he has been very direct with how he's going to make that happen. And he also relates very well to people. He's very personable. He's kind of like your next-door neighbor. You just feel comfortable with him, and you trust him. All
right. So it comes down to candidate selection and policies as well. Republicans have made it very clear that their goal is to take the House in 2022 in the midterm elections. What are you applying from this campaign and hoping that fellow Republican candidates would take away as they run their own races?
Absolutely. Well, I think that Virginia will be the bellwether for the nation, and what the takeaway from this race should be is that people are not happy with the current state of affairs, whether it's what's happening at the border, whether it's what's happening with inflation. They want to make sure that they are considered in how policies are put forth here in Washington. Right now, what's happening is people, I believe, feel that they're actually being disconnected from these decisions. They're watching this massive amount of spending that is being proposed. They're watching what's happened with the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I think to a person, they look at that and go, this isn't where we think our nation needs to be going. You look at how they gauge the direction of our nation, and they don't like the direction our nation is taking. I think Virginia is a bellwether for that, and will show that we need to connect back with voters and make sure that they are in charge of where our Commonwealth goes and where our nation goes.
Well, you kind of touched on our next topic here. This is the idea that Americans feel the country is headed in the wrong direction. 71% weighing in a recent Wall Street Journal NBC News poll. Keep that in mind as we're also getting data about the president's own approval rating. Same polling, 42% approve of the president right now, 54% disapprove. How do you think this, again, this is kind of coming in at the top, right? The president of the United States, that's his approval rating. Yes. Overall headed in the wrong direction. I guess that's pretty broadly speaking, but you look at who's in charge. You've got the president, a Democrat, the House, the Senate, controlled by Democrats as well. What does this say about the Democratic Party at this point, and how Americans are viewing the people who are running this country?
Well, I think people have indicated through what you see in these polls that they're not happy. They're not happy with the direction of the nation. They're not happy with what Democrats have done or what they propose to do with these massive spending bills, with what's happening with the crisis at the border, with what's happening with the withdrawal in Afghanistan, with what's happening with inflation. All of those things people are incredibly unhappy about. What we have been able to do as Republicans is to propose an alternative to that, to make sure that our vision about where the country needs to go is something that people can subscribe to, can believe in, and will see that as a brighter day for the country versus the track that we're on right now under Democrat rule. And I think people are pushing back strongly against what they see the Democrats doing. We have a great opportunity there going forward.
All right, Congressman, we've got to let you go. The president is speaking now about his climate agenda.